Thinking about dipping into your RSP early? You could lose over 50% to tax on your own money. Let me show you how to avoid that. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how much tax you'll really owe if you take money out of your RSP early, not just the amount they withhold up front, but the actual amount you'll pay at tax time. Then we'll look at real life examples of when early withdrawal makes sense and when it could permanently damage your financial future. And finally, I'll show you what kind of long-term impact this decision can have on your retirement plan in real dollars so you can make an informed decision you won't regret. You ever go out to a restaurant and look at the menu and think, okay, 19 bucks for a burger, that's not so bad. But then the bill comes and it's 27 bucks. Why? Taxes, tip, maybe even a weird service fee you didn't expect. That's exactly what it's like when you take money out of your RRSP early. People see the 10, 20, or 30% withholding tax and think, okay, that's my tax bill. But the truth is, that's just what's printed on the menu. The real bill, it comes later. And if you're in a high tax bracket, that surprise can cost you thousands. So before you pull anything from your RSP, let's break down the real costs and, more important, ask, is it practical to withdraw money from RSPs early? Let's get to the heart of it. How much tax are we really talking about? If you're in Ontario and you take $50,000 from your RSP, the government withholds 30% right away. That's 15 grand. But here's where it stings. If you're in the top tax bracket, your actual rate is 53.53%. That means your real tax bill is $26,765. So come tax time, you'll owe the difference. $11,765. That's a pretty big surprise, especially if you thought you'd already paid the tax. Remember, the withholding is just a rough estimate. What really matters is your marginal tax rate, and for high-income earning Canadians, it's often much higher. Let's break this into two clear buckets: smart moves and expensive mistakes. Smart moves first. First-time home buyers plan. You can withdraw up to 35 grand, no tax if repaid over 15 years. Lifelong learning plan. Pull up to 20 grand for education, again with no immediate tax. Low income years. If your income drops temporarily, you may pay less tax on a withdrawal. High interest debt or emergencies. Sometimes solving a short-term crisis is worth the long-term costs. Expensive mistakes next. Taking money out while in a high tax bracket. Using RSPs for discretionary spending like travel or renovations. Treating your RSPs like an emergency fund. Thinking you'll just put it back later. You won't. RSP room doesn't get restored. So how does this decision affect my long-term retirement plan? Let's say you leave $50,000 inside your RSP and it grows at 6% for 20 years. That turns into about $160,000. But if you withdraw it, pay 53.53% tax, you're left with $23,235. Invest that in a regular taxable account at the same rate of return, and it'll grow to roughly $74,600. That's a loss of over $85,000 in growth. Once you break compounding, it's tough to catch up. And how to decide if you should withdraw? Here's a quick 3-question test. Number 1, will this bump you into a higher tax bracket? If yes, that's a big red flag. Number 2, is this an emergency or avoidable expense? I use the traffic light test. Red equals lifestyle splurges. Don't do it. Yellow is a temporary dip. Okay, maybe. Green is an urgent need or high interest debt. Then consider it. Question 3, is there any other way to access the cash first? Maybe you've got a TFSA, a line of credit, a small loan. If there's any other way, do that first. Because let's be real, you're not just borrowing from your RSP, you're borrowing from your 65-year-old self. Basically, my back of a napkin advice is usually this: do your best not to withdraw your RSPs unless it is a life or death situation financially. So now you know when withdrawing from your RSP early makes sense and when it can cost you a small fortune. But here's the thing, if you're holding off on withdrawing, the next smartest move is learning how to make the most of your RSP while you still have it. There's ways to turn your RSP contributions into serious tax savings, especially if you're a high income earner. But most people either miss out or leave money on the table because they don't use the right strategy. My next video covers this topic, so go watch that video now. It's the one thing that can make your RSP work way harder for you this year, especially if you're earning 6 figures, because most Canadians miss this one move and it's like walking past free money every tax season.